Force and friction. Definitions. Force, a push or a pull acting on an object as a result of an interaction. Effects of force. It can move a stationary object. It can stop a moving object. It can change the speed of a moving object. It can change the direction of a moving object. It can change the size and the shape of an object. Force is of two types, contact and non-contact. Contact force is muscular and frictional. Non-contact is gravitational, magnetic, and electrostatic. Types of force. Contact force. The force that acts only when in contact with the body, like muscular force, force applied by muscles. Frictional force. The force that resists the movement of an object on a surface. Non-contact force acts even when not in contact with the body. Example, gravitational force. It's the universal force of attraction between any two objects that have mass, and it always attracts. The magnetic force, which is a force of attraction between a magnet and a metal. And electrostatic force, which is the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. Electrostatic force. All objects are made up of positively and negatively charged particles. Objects are neutral if the number of positive charges are equal to the number of negative charges. Objects are positively charged if the positive charges exceed the negative charges. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract. An electrostatic charge is a charge which is not moving. Sir Isaac Newton defined the law of gravity. He determined the three laws of motion for the universe, and he said that white light is a mixture of many rays. And he also invented the reflecting telescope. The measurement of force. The SI unit of force is Newton, but there are other units like kilogram force, kgf, and 1 kgf is equal to 9.8 newtons. 1 kgf is defined as the force with which the earth attracts a body of a mass of 1 kg towards the center. It is measured using a spring balance. Force depends on the nature of the two surfaces. Rough surfaces provide more friction than smooth surfaces. The weight of the moving object. The heavy objects carry more friction than lighter objects. Friction does not depend on the surface area in contact with the object. Types of friction are static and kinetic. Static friction is the force of friction between two objects at rest. Kinetic friction is the force of friction faced by a moving object. This is of two types, a sliding friction, when an object slides on a surface, and rolling friction, when a heavy object is made to roll over a surface. And when the surface is hard, rolling friction is always less than sliding friction. It is always easier to push a suitcase that has wheels than without wheels. Advantages of friction. We can walk because of friction. Cars and buses can move on roads due to the friction between the tire and the road. You can apply brakes and stop a car because of friction. We can hold objects in our hands because of friction. We can write on paper because of friction between the pen and the paper. We can light a matchstick because of the friction between the matchstick and the box. Disadvantages of friction: it increases heat. It causes wear and tear of machinery, and lots of energy gets wasted. You can increase friction. Tires have treads to make the surface rough and increase friction. Soles of shoes have grooves. Look under your shoes. Handles of motorbikes have spiked rubber. Sand is spread on slippery ground to increase friction. Wrestlers rub a substance on their hands to increase friction so the other person doesn't slip off from their hands. Decreasing friction is by oiling and lubricating, like in a sewing machine, engines and machines. Polishing a surface, providing wheels and ball bearings. Streamlining to reduce fluid friction. Fluid friction is the friction caused due to fluid, and that is called drag. Streamlining gives a shape to the object, like in a plane, to reduce the drag.